AITA for walking out after my fiancée gave me an ultimatum about an open relationship? This happened 3 weeks ago, and I am still processing the absolute audacity of some people. My now ex-fiancée, let's call her Natalie, decided she wanted to have her cake and eat it too. Spoiler alert, she ended up with no cake and no fork. And I am here to enjoy every second of her meltdown. I am 31 years old. I am not some broke guy she was supporting. Natalie is 28. For context, Natalie and I met through mutual friends at a wedding. She seemed great, ambitious, funny, had her life together, or so I thought. The first 2 years were solid. We traveled together, split expenses fairly, and had the same goals: buy a house and get married someday. I proposed last year on her birthday with a ring that cost me 2 months' salary. She cried. I cried. Her friends flooded Instagram with congratulations. The peak of happiness. Well, no, because apparently, happiness is the enemy when you have toxic friends whispering in your ear. Something shifted about 6 months ago. Natalie joined a new women's empowerment group through her gym. At first, I thought it was great. Self-improvement, networking, all that stuff. She would come home energized, talking about setting goals and establishing boundaries. It seemed harmless, but then the narrative started to shift. Every conversation became about settling, exploring your options, and making sure you were not trapped before marriage. The group's leader, let's call her Veronica, was a twice-divorced woman in her late 30s who seemed to spend most of her time convincing happily partnered women that they were actually miserable. Classic crabs-in-a-bucket energy. This woman had more red flags than a car dealership, but Natalie swallowed every word like it was gospel. Every time Natalie came back from a workshop, she had a new complaint about our relationship that had never been an issue before. "You are too comfortable," she would say out of the blue while we were watching Netflix. What on earth does that even mean? Veronica says comfort is the enemy of passion. We should keep each other on our toes. I would just nod and go back to my show, thinking this phase would pass. It did not. It metastasized. The complaints escalated. I worked too much, even though my schedule had never changed and she used to love that I was career-focused. I was not spontaneous enough, even though I had literally surprised her with a weekend trip to Napa 2 months prior that cost me $1,000. I was too logical and did not understand her emotional needs, even though I had supported her through every work crisis and family drama for 4 years. Looking back now, she was building a case, setting up the narrative that I was insufficient so that whatever came next would seem justified. Basic manipulation 101. But I am getting ahead of myself. 3 Fridays ago, I got home from work around 6 p.m., a normal day. I stopped to pick up pizza because it was her turn to cook and she had texted me saying she was tired. I walked in and found her in the bedroom with an open suitcase on the bed, frantically stuffing clothes into it, like the building was on fire. "Hey, what is going on?" I asked, setting the pizza down on the dresser. She did not even look up, just kept throwing things into the suitcase. Girls' trip, remember? Veronica organized it. We are going to Miami for the weekend. I remembered nothing. It was the first I was hearing of it. I mentioned it last week. She shot back dismissively. Classic gaslighting. She had mentioned no such thing. I maintain network systems for a living. I noticed details. This was not mentioned. Well, have fun, I guess. When are you leaving? Tonight. The flight is at 10. Red flag number 1, the frantic energy. She was packing like someone on the run, not someone excited for a vacation. Red flag number 2, no prior notice, no conversation, just a unilateral decision. Red flag number 3, Miami in October with people I did not know. Sure, but I kept my cool. Years of dealing with 3 a.m. network emergencies taught me not to react immediately to chaos. I grabbed a slice of pizza and sat on the bed, watching her. Miami, huh? Where are you staying? Some hotel. Veronica booked it. What hotel? I do not know. She handled everything. Why are you interrogating me? Her voice was sharp now, defensive, the tone of someone who knows they are doing something shady. I am not interrogating you. I am making conversation about my fiancé's trip. She zipped the suitcase shut with exaggerated force. This is exactly what Veronica warned me about. You are being controlling. I almost laughed. I literally had to stifle a laugh. Asking what hotel you are staying at is controlling. It is the energy you are saying it with. The implication that you have to report to me. Natalie, we live together. We are engaged. Basic communication is not control. It is a relationship. It is caring where your partner is. Then she turned, and I saw something in her eyes I had never seen before. A cold calculation mixed with manufactured courage, the look of someone who had rehearsed this moment in the mirror about 20 times. Actually, Owen, I need to talk to you about something. Using the full name is never a good sign. Ever. I took another bite of pizza and waited. I had a feeling I knew where this was going, but I wanted to hear her say it. I have been doing a lot of thinking, and Veronica has been helping me process some things. Of course, Veronica had. I feel like we rushed into this engagement, like I never really had a chance to explore who I am as a person outside of this relationship. Explore who you are, I repeated. Natalie, you are 28. We started dating when you were 24. You had plenty of time to explore before me. You dated other people. You lived alone. You did the whole independent woman thing. That is not what I mean. She sat on the edge of the bed, and I could tell this was the rehearsed part, the speech Veronica had helped her polish. I want us to open our relationship. Silence. Absolute silence. I just stared at her, the slice of pizza halfway to my mouth. Just for a few months, she continued quickly, the words tumbling over each other. To make sure we are really right for each other. I do not give a damn what Veronica says, I interrupted, putting the pizza down. You want to sleep with other people. It is not about intimacy. Classic textbook deflection. It is about making sure we are choosing each other for the right reasons, not just because we are comfortable and afraid of being alone. Natalie, I am not afraid of being alone. I am perfectly capable of being alone. I am with you because I love you. Or at least I love the person I thought you were before Veronica got her claws in you. Her face hardened. The mask slipped for a second, and I saw the real agenda. So, is that a no? That is a hell no. That is a not in a million years no. That is a you are completely out of your mind no. She stood up and grabbed the handle of her suitcase. Then I think we need to take a break. If you cannot even consider trying something that would make our relationship stronger. Stronger? I stood up too. You want to go see other guys, and somehow that is going to bring us closer together? Explain that to me using actual logic. You are being crude and close-minded. This is exactly why I need this. I am going to Miami, and while I am gone, you should think about whether you really want to marry someone who values freedom and growth, or if you want to be stuck in this suffocating, traditional relationship model. She wheeled the suitcase toward the door. I followed her into the living room, more curious than angry at this point. I wanted to see how far she would take this. So this is it? I asked. You are giving me an ultimatum? Open relationship, or it is over. She turned, and I swear, she had this little smirk on her face like she thought she was playing some master-level game of chess, like she had it all figured out. I am giving you time to think about what you really want. But yes, if you cannot see how this could help us, then maybe we are not as compatible as I thought. Okay, I said, completely calm, like she had just told me she wanted Thai food for dinner. That stopped her cold. The smirk vanished. Okay. Yeah, okay. You are right. Maybe we are not compatible. Have a great trip. The confusion on her face was priceless. That is it. You are not going to fight for us. Natalie, you just told me you want permission to see other people. You dressed it up in therapy speak and then threatened to leave if I did not agree. What exactly am I supposed to be fighting for? The privilege of being your safety net while you test drive other options. I am just trying to make sure we are really right for each other before we get married. No, you are trying to audition my replacement while keeping me as a backup plan. I am not interested in being anyone's plan B. I am not interested in auditioning for my own relationship. She stared at me for a long moment, probably expecting me to break, to beg, to negotiate, to do what every other guy might have done when she pulled this kind of power play. When I did not, she huffed, said, "Fine," and walked out the door. She did not even say goodbye, just wheeled that suitcase right out of my life. I stood there in our living room. Well, my living room, as I was about to prove, eating cold pizza and feeling nothing. Not sadness, not anger, not heartbreak, just done. Like closing a browser tab you no longer need. Then, I got to work. First thing I did was text my friend Cameron. He is a lawyer, specializes in contract law, and has saved my hide more than once reviewing rental agreements and job negotiations. Need a favor. Can you look over my lease? Specifically the termination clauses. He called me immediately. Everything okay? I gave him the 5-minute version. His response, dude. Holy cow. Yeah, send me the lease. I will call you back in an hour. While I waited, I started documenting everything. Years in IT taught me documentation is everything. I took screenshots of our text conversations from the last few months, especially the ones where she started mentioning Veronica's advice. I took pictures of the apartment, the furniture I had bought before she moved in, the electronics, my guitars, my gaming setup, all with receipts saved in my email. I downloaded our shared calendar, which showed she never mentioned that Miami trip once. Cameron called back at 8:30 p.m. Okay, good news and better news. The good news: you have a 60-day out clause with 30 days notice. You will lose 1 month's rent as a penalty, but you can be out by the end of next month. The better news: Natalie is not on the lease. Only you. What do you mean she is not? Look at the signature page. It is just your name. She is not a legal tenant, just an occupant. You do not need her permission for anything. Not to break the lease, not to ask her to leave, nothing. I pulled up my copy of the lease on my laptop, and there it was, just my signature. We had moved in right after I got a promotion 2 years ago, and Natalie was between jobs at the time. The landlord only wanted one signature with proof of income, and I had provided it. I always planned on adding her name later, but with the engagement and everything, we just never got around to it. Thank goodness for procrastination. That was my moment of absolute clarity. The path forward lit up like a runway at midnight. Cameron, draft me a notice to the landlord. I want to terminate the lease effective 60 days from today. Are you sure? That is $1,500 down the drain. I have never been more sure of anything in my life. That is $1,500 to buy my freedom. Worth every penny. Perfect. I will have it ready for you by morning. You will need to send it yourself. Certified mail. Return receipt requested. Done. Send me the bill for tonight. Forget it. This one is on me. Watching you handle this with dignity is payment enough. The next call was to my bank. I moved every single cent from our joint checking account, which I had foolishly opened 6 months ago at her suggestion to make managing expenses easier, into my personal savings account, which was in my name only. I left exactly 37 cents in the joint account, not zero, because I wanted her to see that tiny number and know it was intentional, to understand that I had taken everything that was mine. Then I called my mom. She has been through 2 divorces, one from my dad and one from my stepdad, and she has a PhD in spotting nonsense from a mile away. She did what? My mom's voice could have peeled paint off the walls. Yeah, open relationship, or it is over. She tried to give me an ultimatum like I was supposed to just roll over. And what did you say? I said, okay, let us see how that works out for you. It is over. I am done. That is my boy. What do you need? Can I store some stuff at your place for a few weeks? I am moving. I need a place to put it while I find another spot. Bring it all over tomorrow. Your father will help you load the truck. My parents had gotten back together after my stepdad passed away. A strange situation, but it works for them. Saturday morning, Natalie was still in Miami doing goodness knows what with goodness knows who, probably exactly what I think she was doing. I was up at 6 a.m. and started executing the plan like a military operation. I made coffee, showered, and put on work clothes. Time to dismantle a life. I went to the post office when it opened at 9 a.m. and sent the lease termination notice via certified mail. Return receipt requested. The postal clerk was an older lady who looked at the form and said, "Breaking a lease is expensive." "It is worth it," I replied. "Good for you, honey. Life is too short to be with the wrong people." Next, I went to the jewelry store where I had bought Natalie's engagement ring. Mr. Dalton has been in the same spot for 30 years. He sells quality stuff at fair prices. He is the go-to jeweler for the whole neighborhood. He recognized me immediately. "Mr. Owen, how is the fiancé? Are the wedding plans coming along?" "Actually, Mr. Dalton, that is why I am here. The wedding is off. I need to return the ring." His face fell. He looked genuinely sad. "Oh no. I am so sorry to hear that. You two seemed so happy." "Do not be sorry. I am not." Question: what is your return policy? He pulled my receipt out of a drawer. The man is perfectly organized. "You purchased insurance on the ring. Very smart. It covers breakage, theft, loss, and yes, a canceled engagement within the first year of purchase. You can receive 70% in store credit or 60% in cash." I did the mental math. 60% of $12,000 was $7,200. The cash was perfect. I will take the cash. "But, Mr. Owen, the ring, she still has it." "Yes, I will be getting it back. He nodded slowly, understanding in his eyes. You have until Monday to return it for the full refund under the insurance. After Monday, the policy expires, and the sale is final. 1 year from the date of purchase. Perfect. Monday was 3 days away, and Natalie was not back until Sunday night. Plenty of time. I went back home and started packing. Not everything. Nothing that would tip her off if she inevitably called a friend to check in. Just the essentials. Clothes, my laptop, important documents, the game console I had bought before I met her, my guitars, my record collection, family photos, my grandfather's watch. I loaded it all into my truck and drove it to my parents' house in the suburbs. My dad helped me unload it all into the garage. You are doing the right thing, son. That girl was showing her true colors. I never liked her, to be honest. Why did you not say anything? Would you have listened? You were in love. Sometimes people need to figure it out on their own. Thanks, Dad. And yeah, you are right. I would not have listened. Your mother wants to take you to dinner tonight. She says you need to celebrate your freedom. Her words, not mine. Tell her I am in. I could use a good meal and better company. Sunday came. Natalie was scheduled to land at 8 p.m. I had spent the weekend finalizing everything like I was preparing for a product launch at work. I found a new one-bedroom apartment closer to my office, with cheaper rent, available immediately if I paid the first and last month up front. I went to see it Saturday afternoon and signed the lease on the spot. The landlord was a quiet older guy who had also been through a bad breakup in his 20s. Starting over? He said as I signed. Yeah, a fresh start. Best decision you will ever make. I have been where you are, trust me. You will look back and thank yourself. I hired movers for Monday morning. I called a company that specialized in quick moves. I paid extra for the short notice. I canceled all of our joint subscriptions. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Amazon Prime. I changed all my passwords to anything she had access to. I removed her as my emergency contact at work, on my insurance, and on my bank accounts. I methodically erased her access to every corner of my life. But I left her things exactly where they were. I did not touch a single item in her closet, her bathroom drawers, or her yoga mat in the corner. Nothing. This was not about being petty or vindictive. It was about being clean, surgical, professional. At 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, I placed the ring box on the kitchen counter with a sticky note on it. Need this back by Monday morning for the jeweler. The insurance expires Monday at close of business. Thanks. Then I printed out 3 documents and left them in a neat stack next to the ring. A copy of the lease termination notice sent to the landlord with the tracking number, a highlighted screenshot of our joint bank account showing 37 cents, and a handwritten note that said, "You wanted freedom and growth. Congratulations, you are about to get a crash course in both. The lease is terminated as of November 30th. Movers are coming for the rest of my things tomorrow. Your belongings will be left untouched. You have 60 days to figure out your next move. Do not contact me. We are done. I wish you the best, but we are done." I grabbed my overnight bag and drove to my parents' house. I turned my phone off. I slept better than I had in months, like a weight had been lifted off my chest, like I could breathe again. Monday morning, 6 a.m., I turned my phone back on to coordinate with the movers. The notifications started flooding in immediately, like a slot machine hitting the jackpot. 47 missed calls from Natalie. 63 text messages. For voicemails. Several missed calls from her friends. I did not listen to a single one. Not one voicemail, not one text. The movers arrived at 7 a.m. sharp. By 11 a.m., everything that was mine was out of that apartment. The furniture, the dishes, the good pots and pans, the TV, the coffee maker, the art on the walls, my desk, my chair. The place looked bizarrely empty. It turned out I had supplied almost everything truly livable. She was left with her clothes, her makeup, a futon from her college days that had been in storage, a bunch of decorative pillows, and the cheap lamp I left out of sheer mercy. The moving foreman, a big guy named Travis, looked around the empty apartment before they left. "Man, whoever is staying here is going to have a rough time. This place looks like it has been cleared out." "Not my problem anymore," I said, handing him a $200 cash tip. "You are a good dude." She made a huge mistake. Yes, she did. But that is her business now. I walked through the apartment one last time to make sure I had not forgotten anything. I did one final sweep. I stood in that empty living room and felt absolutely nothing. No nostalgia, no regret, no second thoughts. Just relief. Pure, Clean relief. I left my keys on the counter and walked out. I locked that door for the last time. I went straight to the jewelry store. Natalie had dropped the ring off that morning, around 7 a.m., probably as soon as she saw my note and realized I was serious, likely showing up in a panic with her mascara running and still in yesterday's clothes. Mr. Dalton processed the return. $7,200 cash in my hand. I hope you find someone who is worthy of you, Mr. Owen, he said as he counted out the bills. I am going to focus on being worthy of myself first, I replied, on making sure I never settle for less than I deserve again. Wise words. Good luck to you. By noon, I was officially moved into my new place. Smaller, quieter, cheaper, all mine. I ordered furniture online to be delivered later. That week, I set up my computer on a folding table, opened a beer, and sat on the floor of my empty apartment, feeling like I had just dodged a massive problem. Then, I finally read her texts. I had to see what kind of narrative she was trying to sell. The first batch was from 11:07 p.m. on Sunday, when she apparently got home. Where is everything? Owen, what is this? Call me right now. This is not funny. Owen, where are you? This is crazy. Then the Monday morning ones, after she saw everything. I cannot believe you would do this. We need to talk about this like adults. You are being childish and reactive. This is why I wanted space. You are too emotional. Veronica says this is classic manipulation. You cannot just leave without talking. That last one made me laugh out loud. I did not just leave. She literally got on a plane to Miami after demanding an open relationship. But okay. Then came the apology texts. I am sorry, I did not mean it like that. Can we please talk, Owen? I made a mistake. I was not thinking clearly. Miami was a disaster. I realized I do not want anyone else. Please call me. I love you. Do not throw away 4 years over one fight. I blocked her number. I blocked her on every social media platform. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. I blocked her friends, the ones I knew would try to contact me on her behalf. Scorched earth. My friend Cameron texted me. Word on the street is Natalie is completely losing her mind. Apparently, she showed up at Veronica's place yesterday crying, and Veronica basically told her to handle it. How are you doing? Never better. I texted back, literally sitting in my new apartment, drinking a beer and playing video games. Living the dream. Love to hear it. Drinks this weekend to celebrate. Absolutely. First round is on me. On Tuesday afternoon, she tried calling me from a different number. I did not recognize it and answered by mistake. Owen. Oh my gosh. Finally. Please do not hang up. I hung up. I blocked that number too. On Wednesday, she showed up at my office. Security called me from the lobby. Mr. Owen, there is a Natalie here to see you. She says she is your fiancée. She is being quite insistent. Ex-fiancée. I do not want to see her. Please escort her from the building. She is very upset, sir. She is making a bit of a scene in the lobby, crying and causing a disruption. Then call the police if you have to. I am not seeing her under any circumstances. And make a note in the system that she is no longer welcome here. 10 minutes later, security called back. She is gone. She left on her own when we mentioned the police. But sir, she said she is not giving up. Noted in the log. If she comes back, call the police immediately. Do not even call me first. On Thursday, I received an email from her. Subject line, please just read this. I deleted it without opening it, sent it straight to the trash, and then emptied the trash. On Friday, Veronica tried to call me. I had forgotten to block her. I answered by mistake again. I really had to stop doing that. Owen, it is Veronica. I think we got off on the wrong foot. Natalie is having a really hard time. And as someone who cares about her growth and well-being, Veronica, with all due respect, you have done enough. You spent months poisoning my relationship, convincing Natalie she was unhappy in a perfectly healthy partnership, and feeding her this toxic nonsense about open relationships and freedom. And now you are surprised there are consequences? This is as much your fault as it is hers. You are a miserable person who cannot stand to see other people happy. Lose my number. I hung up, blocked her, and felt great. That weekend, I went out with Cameron and some college buddies I had not seen in months. It was the first time I had gone out without Natalie in 4 years. We went to a sports bar downtown, watched the game, joked around, and laughed about old times. One of my friends, Grant, asked where Natalie was. We broke up. I said simply, taking a drink. Wow, man, are you okay? I am great, seriously. She wanted an open relationship. I wanted a closed door. We all got what we wanted. Everyone laughed, but Cameron looked at me seriously. But for real? Are you good? For years is a long time. I spent 4 years with someone who was perfectly happy until a divorced woman with an agenda convinced her she was settling. I am not sad about losing Natalie. I am annoyed I wasted 4 years of my life. But yeah, I am good. Better than good. I feel like I just got out of prison. 2 weeks in, mutual friends started reaching out. People who had been at our engagement party, who knew us as a couple, who saw us as relationship goals on social media. The first was her college roommate, Haley. Owen, I heard what happened. Natalie's version is a lot. What really went down? I told her everything. The open relationship demand, the ultimatum, my response, the timeline. Oh my gosh, Haley said. She told everyone you kicked her out with no warning because you were controlling and could not handle her independence. She said you were being financially difficult. She is lying. I have documentation of everything. Screenshots, the lease showing only my name is on it, the whole timeline. If she wants to play the victim, I can bring that narrative to a halt. Can you send me what you have? Some of us are getting pretty tired of her sob story. It is not adding up. I sent her everything. Screenshots of the text where Natalie talked about Veronica's advice. A copy of the lease showing just my name, the timeline, everything. Within a day, the truth spread through their friend group like wildfire. Suddenly, Natalie's narrative collapsed. People started asking questions. Wait, you told Owen open relationship or nothing, and you were surprised he chose nothing? You gave him an ultimatum, and he called your bluff? You were not even on the lease? You were calling him financially difficult when he paid for everything? Her friend group fractured. The ones who had been drinking the Veronica Qley stuck with Natalie. The rest either went neutral or sided with me. 3 weeks in, I went on a date. Not because I was ready for anything serious, but because a friend's girlfriend had a coworker she thought I would get along with. Just drinks, no pressure, to see what happens. Her name was Lily. She is a civil engineer and has her own condo. She is smart and funny in that dry, sarcastic way I love. We talked for 3 hours. At the end of the night, she said, "Full disclosure, I am not really looking for anything serious right now. I just got out of a long relationship where I felt like I was the only one putting in the effort." Sound familiar? We are in the same boat, I told her. Except mine ended because she wanted to test drive other options while keeping me as a backup plan. You dodged a bullet there. I dodged a full firing squad. We decided to keep it casual. Drinks once a week, no pressure, no expectations. It was perfect, refreshing, and easy. For weeks in, Natalie found out I was seeing someone. I do not know how. Probably stalking my Instagram through a friend's account I forgot to block. She sent me an email. This time I read it. Big mistake. Owen, I heard you are already dating someone. While I am still trying to process what happened between us. While I am trying to figure out how to rebuild my life after you destroyed it. Do you have any idea what you did to me? I came home, and the apartment was empty. No warning, no conversation, you were just gone. You took everything. You left me with nothing. I have had to move back in with my parents at 28 because I cannot afford rent on my own. My friends will not talk to me anymore because of the lies you spread about me. I made one mistake. I had one moment of doubt, which is totally normal before a marriage, and you punished me like I had committed some unforgivable crime. You did not even try to work through it. You just gave up. Veronica says what you did is financial abuse and emotional manipulation. You isolated me and then abandoned me when I needed you most. But I am willing to forgive you. I am willing to try again, if you are. We built something real, Owen. For years does not just disappear. The connection we had does not just vanish because of one fight. I love you. I know I hurt you, but I love you. And I think if you are being honest with yourself, you still love me too. Please, just one coffee. Just one conversation. That is all I am asking. Natalie. I read it twice, then I laughed. A genuine, belly laugh. Then I forwarded it to Cameron. His response was immediate. She has completely rewritten history in her head. Financial abuse? You paid for literally everything. And now she is willing to forgive you? For what? Having self-respect. Do not reply. Should I reply just to set the record straight? Absolutely not. Let her stew in the consequences of her own actions. Nothing you say is going to change her narrative anyway. He was right. I deleted the email and did not respond. She had constructed her own reality where she was the victim. Nothing I could say would ever pierce that delusion. 5 weeks in, I ran into Veronica at a coffee shop. She was with a younger woman, in her early 20s, probably another mark for her empowerment routine. She saw me, and I watched her face cycle through several emotions in a matter of seconds. Surprise, guilt, anger, defiance. I just looked at her, gave a slow shake of my head, and turned away. Behind me, I heard the young woman ask, "Who was that?" "No one important," Veronica said quickly. "Just someone from my past." I smiled to myself. Yeah, that is right. I am no one to her, and she is nothing to me. 6 weeks in, I am sitting in my apartment on a Saturday night. Lily is coming over. We are going to order Thai food and watch a movie. No pressure, no drama, no Veronica whispering poison. Just two people enjoying each other's company. My phone buzzes. It is an unknown number, so I ignore it. Then a voicemail notification pops up. Against my better judgment, I listen to it. It is Natalie. Her voice is slurred, clearly having a hard time. "Owen, I miss you so much. I made such a huge mistake. Every day I wake up and I remember what I lost, and I cannot breathe. You were everything, and I was so stupid, so very stupid. Veronica was wrong about everything. But you just left. You did not even fight for me. If you really loved me, you would have fought for me. But you just let me go." She starts crying, an ugly cry. "I do not know what to do anymore. I do not know how to fix this. I thought you would wait. I thought you would be there when I was ready. But you are not. You are never coming back, are you? I know that, and I have to live with it. I have to live with knowing that I destroyed the best thing in my life because I let someone poison my head, and the voicemail cuts off. Immediately, another voicemail notification pops up. "I am not okay, Owen. I am not okay. And I know it is not your problem anymore. But I needed you to know that. I needed you to know that losing you broke something inside me that I do not think can ever be fixed. And I am sorry. I am so sorry. I am sorry for everything. For believing Veronica, for the ultimatum, for taking you for granted, for all of it. I do not expect you to forgive me. I do not even expect you to care anymore. But I needed to say it. I needed you to hear it. Even if you just delete this without listening, I needed to say it." The message ends. I sit there for a minute, phone in my hand, and I feel something. Not regret, not sadness. Maybe pity. Maybe just an acknowledgement that there was a real person who made terrible choices and now has to live with them. But I do not call back. I do not text back. I do not even save the number to block it later. I just delete the voicemails and move on. Because here is the truth. Her pain is not my responsibility anymore. She made a choice, a deliberate, calculated choice to blow up our relationship because she thought she could do better. She thought the grass was greener. She thought I would wait around like a loyal dog while she figured her life out. And I made a choice, too, to respect myself enough to walk away. The doorbell rings. It is Lily, with Thai food in her hand and a smile. "Ready to get destroyed in Mario Kart?" she asks. "In your dreams," I say, letting her in. She pauses in the doorway and gives me a look. "Are you okay? You look a little weird." Ex-fiancé drama, I admit. She left some regretful voicemails. The whole 9 yards. "Do you want to talk about it?" "No," I answer honestly. "I want to eat pad thai and crush you in Mario Kart." She smiles. "That is what I like to hear." We spend the night laughing, eating way too much, and competing in a silly video game like we are 12 years old. It is easy, simple. No ultimatums, no manipulation, no toxic friends whispering poison. Around midnight, Lily heads out. Before she leaves, she turns. For what it is worth, Owen, whoever she was, she made a huge mistake. You are a genuinely good guy. Do not let her get in your head. Thanks, I say. You are pretty solid yourself. After she is gone, I pull up Natalie's contact info one last time. I hover my finger over the block button. Then I just delete the contact entirely. Not blocked, not saved, just gone, like it never existed in my phone. Because that is what she is now, someone who is no longer in my life. I sleep like a baby that night. 7 weeks in, it is Thanksgiving. I am at my parents' house with my brother and his family, my aunt and uncle, all the usual suspects. We are doing the whole traditional turkey thing, a football game on in the background, the kids running around and causing chaos. Comment. Hey everyone, I just wanted to share a few thoughts after that story. It really highlights how crucial it is to know your worth and honor it by setting healthy boundaries. Sometimes, one of the kindest things you can do for yourself is to walk away from what disrupts your peace. You are not responsible for the consequences of other people's choices, only for your own healing journey. It is possible to be firm in your decisions while still acting with compassion. True healing starts when we consciously choose to stop engaging with chaos. Choosing your peace is not giving up. It is an act of profound self-respect. Always remember to protect that peace fiercely. Take care of yourselves. If you like the stories, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.